Hello and welcome into the channel, Paramay Trades. This is Paramay's Trade Journal. We're going to take a look at the CoT Report, Friday Roundup edition for energies. Today, Saturday the 25th, and this is probably going to be a little bit quicker video than the currencies. We got a couple of commodities to look at, so we're just going to take a quick peek out. As always, commercial interest indexes, we look at the 6-month index and the 3-year index, something that we derive from the legacy report, come from bar charts. So we get that report every Friday. We plug the numbers in, and then we just try to take a look and see, based on our index, where commercial interest is, and if they can help us out with a little bit of market sentiment to see where the direction of the commodity that we're trading is going. So crude and natural gas, I don't look at the what is it, the European gas, RBOB, is that what it is? RBOB gas futures, is that the euro one? It's not on the list, but maybe we'll put that on there. I keep forgetting to put that on there. I don't play it very often, but maybe you folks do. If you get deep pockets too, and that's a hefty initial margin, so we'll take a look at it though. So natural gas we did play last week. So it's, if you play these, I mean, it's definitely worth taking a gander at what the energy sector is doing, because crude's getting crushed. I think it dipped extremely low. $6 a barrel or something like that, $9 a barrel. I can't even remember on WTI. Natural gas was, some positive news came out. Natural gas started to move, but comms not as optimistic here. Wasn't playing to their favor on natural gas. Wasn't playing to their favor on crude either. So, but we can take a look at these charts just to see what is happening. So we did do a couple of videos on crude and on natural gas. We did one last week. So let's just clean this up, because, well, it is what it is. It's messy. We cautioned this. We cautioned this last couple of weeks ago, when advisors were calling for a market bottom here, and we just weren't biting. We just were not biting that this was a market bottom for crude. And I'm glad. I hope you watched the video, and I hope you got out of this trade as soon as you saw the lower time frame top, and you got out of this, because it just wasn't. This didn't scream market bottom. If you wanted to call a market bottom at 20, yeah, I mean, go ahead. But we were not prepared to call this a market bottom at all, and I'm glad we didn't. It was not about being right. It just didn't look like a market bottom. And our so-called commercial interest, why would they show you their ace card, as some advisors would say? Comms breaking really bearish on right back here, right at this top, right at this top right here, right at this nice run up. So we got a little, we got a little bit of bounce action, but comms bearish, open interest is relatively high, and that's what we'd like to see. We would have liked to have seen an overbought territory for commercial interest, but it didn't matter. This was high enough. This was high enough for them. Market sentiment relatively low. I'd like to see market sentiment relatively high too, but comms super bearish on the 6-month index, at least for the last couple of weeks. And this was this combination of things gave us a little bit of insight that the bottom might not be in. Is the bottom in at 6.5? I'm going to tell you, I don't know. I have no idea. Can this bust out of this? I think we're getting a little bit of rebound. And can this find some kind of equilibrium? I don't know. Is the equilibrium up at 20? Who knows? Maybe this comes back down on the equilibrium somewhere around 12. Com's not holding a very positive outlook on this, though. If they were getting bullish, I would have liked that. I'd like to have seen that. Com's getting bearish back here. Whoops. Com's getting really bearish back here. Did they know something that the rest of us didn't? Because I got to think that they made out like bandits back here. You know, they were holding short back up here at 60 down to 6. That's a payday. That is a payday. Open interest relatively high. Com's getting bearish. Overbought territory. Perfect recipe for a short position. So if you got into that, you made out like a bandit. So once this thing at the bottom, I'd like to see commercial interests start to change their tune. But with the markets the way that they are right now, with supply, with the problems in supply, and the problems with demand, where is the bottom? I don't know if the bottom's in. Maybe we'll do a separate video, but I'm not really certain. I'm not gonna talk about it. Natural gas. Wow, where's natural gas? We just looked at the same fluff BS that we usually do with natural gas. Market. Oh, it's going to be a colder April, and then it turned on a dime. Comms. I mean, they haven't been very helpful in here. Haven't been very helpful. The winter just wasn't the way. Just didn't turn out the way that they thought it would. So we break into new lows and comms are getting bullish, and this just didn't materialize. Maybe they're getting out of their net long positions up in here, and that's where all the hoopla's going on with this. I don't know. Is gas bottoming out? I don't know. So we did do a video on gas. I want to look at the lower time frames here, but this thing just, and we cautioned, Thursday EIA report coming out on Thursday. Com's not very optimistic about natural gas, and we were looking for a breakdown, and it just it broke down. So we got short. When we saw a breakdown of zero coefficient, we got short on this, and we made out well because this thing cooked. Post report, this thing cooked, and the report came out that there was a heck of a lot more supply than well, not a heck of a lot more supply, but we did do this too. Natural gas storage. So this is something that we put together over the last couple of days. Natural gas storage. So we're looking at supply. So I figured, why wait for the report to come out? Why don't we just look at the supply right now and see if there's any correlation between price movement. And this is gonna take a while. There's 2 years of data here, guys. So just give me a second to and we'll get it loaded. If it decides to load. So it may pop up. Where is our natural gas storage indicator? It's not popping up. Oh, all right. Let's try another way, just real quick. I think this was worth. I know why. I know what's going on. We gotta move it down. Oh, okay, it's clean. Now this is what we're looking at. So this is this is something that we were paying attention to a little bit here, to see if we could see something that was going on with the market top and the supply. So we oversupplied, and then we're hitting the top because we're working with supply. We're trying to meet demand, but we're blazing up over at highs in the supply area, but we're not. So supply starts moving down, price starts moving down, and we bottom out in supply. So supply increasing, is demand increasing? We just didn't meet the demand, it seemed like, this season. So now we're in a position, within 2 years that we're not. Two different time periods, right? So most of the time in April, supply is usually pretty low, and then supply starts to increase as I think that the storage tries to meet the demand for the season, but the season just wasn't here up here. So supply ultra high, and does that cause problem with price? One would think so. But now we're in this area in April where it's like we're middle ground right now. Why is, is demand, are we starting to increase demand, from this point like we do in the previous Aprils? So now what we're going to see is hopefully some movement to the upside eventually, but it's April. It's not a good time to be a buyer. Wasn't a good time to be a buyer here in April. Wasn't a good time to be a buyer here in April. Better time to be a buyer looked more like September, August, September. So we got a lot of, it would seem, foolery going around with gas, and just kind of knee-jerk reaction, maybe a little bit irrational, in the sense that it just didn't. Where is our 2 chart here? Just didn't seem to work out for a long position up in here. We were looking for a breakdown, and we got it. We thought we were in this, we were trading in this range, and this is the value high, range, and we thought this was going to turn. So better time to be a buyer down here, better time to be a seller up in this area around the 0 coefficient. 1.0 and 1.25 coefficient, better time to be a buyer down here. And it would have worked to your advantage, but we were not expecting a breakup with natural gas. So when's the time to be a buyer? Well, probably down here somewhere. Boy, I mean, if that's not confusing, I don't know what is. So commercial interest on both of the commodities that we're watching, just not very bullish right now, very bearish. So com's looking bearish on both fronts. Let's take that off because it increases load time tremendously. All right, so we did a video on natural gas. You want to take a look at that? Go ahead. But com's not optimistic on natural gas or on crude. So crude and natural gas, is the market searching for a bottom? I got to tell you that I don't think the narrative has changed lately. With this business, with the virus and the way the markets are, and the economies, it just hasn't changed right now. The narrative has been the same since January. It's been the same since this market turned down. I mean, the only bright spot is that commercial interest is extremely bullish on the indices right now in stocks. So, yeah, that's that. Until the narrative changes, just play the whip. Play the ranges, your value lows, your value highs, and make some money off of it. But yeah, is the bottom in for crude? Who knows? I don't know, we'll do a separate video. Is the bottom in for gas? Yeah, probably a lot of sideways trading for the next couple of months or something like that. We'll pick it up at 1.5 and sell it at 2. Anyways, that's all I got to say about that. That's all I got to say about the energy sector right now. It may be worth noting that we're probably looking to change the channel name here. So if you see this, don't be surprised. We're looking for something a little bit more. Paramay is something I really enjoy. It's a word. The meaning paramay sore is something I really enjoy. But we're looking for something a little bit more industry. I would say industry friendly. We're looking to expand our community and our audience, and we're just looking to quite possibly change the name. So just a heads up. We've got a Discord chat community group if you'd like to come in and talk trades, talk about the charts, tell me I'm full of it, whatever you need to do. So until next video, hope you find yourself on the profitable side of the trade. Thanks a lot.